visitors? I didn't see a call in, so assuming no visitors. So we get to turn it over to Chase for our activity.
Before we do that, I would like to do introductions. I know Chase has got some great activities to kind of get to know us, but since we have 4 fantastic new people on board, we want to allow them to introduce themselves, and as well as those old timers now. If you could please give us a little bit of introduction to yourselves as well for the new folks. You can be a little bit long tonight. As you know, we're going to be spending the next 12 months together, and we want to really make sure that we're engaged and know each other the best way that we can. So if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe you can give us your pronouns, that you prefer pronouns for all of us to know. That's always wonderful. I'm going to maybe just go around the room here so I can tell you who's going to be up first and next and so forth, so it doesn't get confusing. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'll start just because I'm talking. Most of you have had a chance to meet me over either the years or the last few months with interviews. My name is Tyler Ryerson, staff liaison here for the city's Urban Renewal Agency. I'm Senior Development Project Manager, been with the city for like 22 years, but who's counting, right? It's all been fun and games, and been very lucky to work with some great people as staff, and also been extremely lucky to work with a lot of great community members. And it makes it easy to come in every day and work from my daughter's old bedroom or in the building itself, which I got to do today. That was the first time I spent all day in the office. It was weird. And so if you haven't been back to your places of work for extended periods of time, it's hard, but it actually worked out okay once I figured out how to keep the mask over my nose for 9 hours. That was kind of the most challenging part. But I want to welcome our past members and welcome our new members to Urban Renewal Advisory Committee. Chase.
I'm Chase Landry. I work at the City of Beaverton with Tyler, helping out on this and the Bureau Board, working on documents and running around town doing various things. Been here about a year, really enjoying it, and really thankful that you all are here joining us in the new year, the not 2020 year. Really hope it's going to be a good one, and I think with you all here, I think it will be. Who next?
Oswaldo.
Oh, hello. Let's see, where do I start? This is the second time that I have to do this, because as of today, I have started a new job. And so today was my first day after 3.5 years of working independently from my house. And so originally from Colombia, have been living in the city of Beaverton for 30 years. Ever since we moved from Colombia to the US. And so this is, became my home back then, and it has been my home ever since. Love the city, since everything about it. My wife and 2 children moved here 30 years ago. My daughter's now 34, my son 31. Everybody's doing well, and we have managed to stay safe and healthy throughout all these crazy pandemic times. And the last 6 years I have spent working with the City of Beaverton through the Diversity Advisory Board. And last year, a year ago, I decided that it would probably be a good idea to diversify other boards. So then I started thinking about maybe I should go and support or try to help in other areas of the city. And so I applied to this committee, this board, and thank goodness they say yes to me. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm looking forward to learning and probably helping with a thing or two.
Thank you, Oswaldo. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Nye, and I have been on this for I don't know how long, and I'm also on the Planning Commission. And I live in the central Beaverton neighborhood at the Round, and I'm an architect by training.
Thank you, Jen. And Jennifer was our chair last year. Paige.
Got to find that unmute button, which I should know how to do by now since I've been working from home for, gosh, what, 9 months now, doing these types of Zoom calls all the time. But anyway, my name is Paige Lawler, pronouns she, her, hers. I have been on this commission or advisory committee for a year now, so this is just starting my second year. It's been a great first year, looking forward to continuing all the work that we've been doing together as a team, and with the new members that we have, should be a great 2021. About me, I live in the Vose neighborhood, have lived in Beaverton for about 3 years now. Bought a house here and is excited to kind of plant the roots, and yeah, very excited about the direction that the city's going. So happy to be here, happy to be part of this committee. So that's me.
Thank you, Paige. Andy.
Unmute. All right. I am Andy Ellen. I'm a senior media planner buyer with the ad agency Grady Britton, where in past years I have worked with Oswaldo when he was on the sales side. So I know Oswaldo. I have been a resident. I bought my house in Beaverton about 5 years ago in the Bose neighborhood, and I too, and I must live very close to Paige. And I don't know, I'm very excited about the direction the city's gone, all the, the improvements I've seen in that time. And this will be my second year on this committee. So thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Eric.
We'll talk later, Andy.
So Eric Lear, my pronouns would be he and him. This is my third year on URAC, starting my second term. I am a Beaverton resident as well. I live in the Five Oaks Triple Creek neighborhood. By way of background, I have an economics and finance background. I work as the chief investment officer for a wealth management firm in downtown Portland. And I've always tried to bring that economics lens to our discussions here in URAC. And really excited, as everyone else said, about the direction the city's going. And I think we on this committee can certainly contribute a lot to that direction, and excited to work with everyone, especially all the new faces.
Thank you, Eric. And Scott.
Unmute. I thought I had the right button in place, missed it. Scott Winter. I have been on this committee since its inception, and currently Jennifer and I share Planning Commission duties. And I've been a resident of Beaverton for over 25 years, active in it for over 20. And I like to think that we're doing good things. I'm glad to be on this I've known Tyler for a long time.
Yeah, sure have. Thank you, Scott. Alan.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Al Kennedy with Walton Valley Fire and Rescue, representing TDFNR and Special District. Go by the pronouns he, him. Like my good friend Oswaldo, I'm a bit of a transplant myself. I was born in Liverpool, raised in Wales, and immigrated to Oregon 40 years ago. So I got your beat on that, Oswaldo. I've been with the district for, this is my 30th year. And I've been on the committee for about a term and a half, whatever that equates to, Tyler, and I always forget. But this is absolutely one of the best assignments we have to be on this active committee. It's a phenomenal plan, and it's been a great education for me. Personally, the COVID pandemic is killing me because I'm an adventure traveler, and that's all been shut down with some limitations. So, but that's okay. The good news is we are one of the 2 push runners to Washington County, and we started delivering vaccines to our agency on Sunday, and we will be delivering them to Beaverton police sometime this month. So that's huge. It's the first time in 9 months we feel like we're actually on the offensive instead of being defensive so much. So yeah, so it's a pleasure to be here, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Alan, and best to you, and thank you for your service and what you've done for our community as well. Nathan.
Hey everybody, good evening. Nathan Purley here, pronouns he, him, and his. Yeah, I've been with the committee now for, I think what, Tyler, refresh my memory, about a year now, I think, year and a half, somewhere around there. Kind of lose track of time with last year, but I think a year is a benchmark from where we stand. Currently an auditor. I'm an accountant by trade. I've been in accounting and finance background for nearly 7 years now. Currently work for a public accounting firm, Moss Adams. I specialize right now in external auditing and currently pursuing my CPA license exam. So doing that while also kind of just now jumping into the trenches of what they call as the tax busy season between now and tax day. It's going to be just some long hours, but it's actually a lot of fun helping our clients out. So I really enjoy it. Really excited to be part of this committee. Looking at, I think what makes our involvement really special is just looking at, for example, that last link that Chase gave us. It shows all the list of projects that the city's working on. It really makes our work, I think, very important and our involvement really special. And it's just a pleasure to work on all these projects. Been a resident here for 30 years and currently, hopefully after tax season can start looking for the first home purchase here in the area and maybe see some new inventory by spring and summertime. So happy to be here. Happy New Year's, everyone. Looking forward to working with everyone.
Thank you, Nathan. Jerome.
There's that unmute key. Hi, everybody. I'm Jerome Yeoman. I'm a clinical psychologist in private practice, and my office actually is across the creek from the new Arts Center. So I have a great view of the construction going up. And I've lived in Beaverton for about 12 years. And really, I've dropped into neighborhood association meetings and some of the visioning meetings and so on, and long contemplated getting involved with the city because I, like many of you, I really like what's going on, and I'm proud to be involved in the most diverse city in Oregon, and to celebrate that diversity and see what I can do to help out. My pronouns are he, him, his. I've been in Beaverton for about 12 years. I live in the Five Oaks, Triple Creek neighborhood. Actually, the lower corner of my lot is in the Willow Creek floodplain. So we get up close and personal with the creek. We had a wood duck land on our deck one year when my wife was looking out the window. So I love the nature that and hope to be involved in integrating that into our vision of our community. So I'm excited to be involved. I'm a newbie, and so I have a lot to learn here.
Yeah, welcome, Jerome, and thank you. It's good to hear a little bit more about you. Yeah, Kelly.
Unmute. Hey everyone, I'm Kelly. Most of you know me. I'm here in support of the Bureau team, and I take the meeting minutes when I attend this meeting. I also want to just let you guys know that I serve on the internal equity team, and I am also very fortunate to be involved in a subcommittee with our department heads on diversity, equity, and inclusion that they initiated for the first time ever with the internal equity team. And so it's really exciting that we have that platform now where we can run ideas past them. And so we're formulating ideas and rolling out DEI work. And awesome. I love URAC. You guys are so amazing. I'm so happy that I get to be a part of this group.
And we're always thrilled to have you along the ride, Cal. And thank you for all things that you do for not only this group, but the rest of the city staff too. Caroline.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Caroline Mukula Chienza. So my last name is hyphenated, but I oftentimes just use a Chienza. I'm a resident of Beaverton, close to 170th and TV Highway, or maybe Farmington in between. Yeah, and I've been in this city for the last 11 years. So my kids obviously go to the Beaverton School District. They are homeschooling or maybe online schooling. I work outside of the city. I work in at Kaiser Permanente over in Clackamas, but I have the opportunity to work from home now. So I've got to experience the city a little bit more during the day while I work at home, and have got to experience, walking in the neighborhood and experiencing the nature of the city. I also own a business. I'm also, I have a nonprofit organization, 501(c)(3) that I founded that oversees churches and ministry work, as well as community development work. So I think that my presence on this board will help, speak to that side of the world as well. I have served on the city of Beaverton Diversity Advisory Board for the last 4 years. Actually, we served with Oswado, and I had the privilege of serving as a co-chair for 2 of those 4 years. So I consider it an honor to be able to work with you this time. And thank you, Tyler and Chase, for the great orientation a couple of weeks ago.
Caroline, thank you for your time here and your work with DAB. And we know that you did some mandatory traveling here over the holidays. So hopefully you're rested and able to be in a good spot here. So our best to you.
Thank you.
Josh?
Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Carrillo, pronouns he and him, his. I am a project manager for an affordable housing developer, Northwest Housing Alternatives. Prior to that, I worked with Tyler and Kelly at the city of Beaverton for about 4.5 years, and loved working on URAC on that side, and very excited to be on the other side of it. There's a lot of great work going on in Old Town, and it'll be great to be a part of it. And I've been a Beaverton resident for about 4 years now. Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Thanks, Josh. And it'll be good to bring in your affordable housing expertise now and be able, as we talk about affordable housing throughout the year. Paula?
Hi, Paula Calderon, pronoun she, her, hers. I think this is our 3rd year, right, Eric? Is that right? Yeah, okay. Eric and I started on the committee together, and I have to say that I really think it's evolved. I think the quality of their presentations and engagement is just really, it's outstanding. I've really enjoyed this last year in particular. Just the opportunities, not just to provide the feedback, but then to have them come back and give us an update, much like what we're going to see later today, which I really appreciate. So just thank you everyone who's worked on programming, and it's been good, and I'm happy to spend my time doing this once a month. It's good, feels good. I'm really looking forward to 2021. It's all a big magical mystery box. I work in healthcare IT. I'm focused in strategy and strategic programs that are focused on population health and analytics and AI and lots of letters and geeky stuff. I am actually a COVID layoff. So if you're wondering who you know who's been impacted by COVID, that you're like, what, really? I am one of those. Focused the industry right now is just being absolutely crushed with trying to maintain revenue streams of taking care of people who desperately need help, and they don't have time to work on the other things that also desperately need help. So I'm looking forward to 2021 when we can start to come back together and solving some of those really critical care issues that we have in the industry right now. So one thing at a time, let's get over this COVID hurdle, and then we'll move back into that. I'm also a board member on an environmental organization known as Echo Challenge. This is a really interesting value proposition around bringing programming to corporations. So if you're curious about that, let me know. It's low lift from the corporate point of view, and it's pretty impactful. So just give me a shout if you're interested. Currently live in the Cedar Mills area, been a resident for about half my life. I'm kind of moved out of state and come back in. I've been in California, Hawaii, Washington, Arizona. I just always seem to come back here. I was pretty much raised here, graduated from Beaverton High School. And I just really like it. The quality of life, the culture, the people. I just enjoy Oregon. So my parents and my sister are still here. I have a niece who was at the University of Hawaii going to college, who's now not, but hopefully we'll be going back in the fall. We'll see how the college situation works out for campus and all that, but right now she's doing distance learning. And if you see me looking around, I have an old fuzzy dog. He's demented, his name's Bruno, he's adorable, but every once in a while he's acts a little distracted, especially at night, so I have to kind of pay attention to him a little bit. So if you're wondering what's going on, I am paying attention, I'm listening, but I have to pay attention to him too a little bit. I love to travel, so I also, my travel bug has gotten a big, sort of like my will to live has gotten a little crunch out of it. So I'm really looking forward to being able to get out in the world again and see things. So welcome to the new members, and congratulations.
Well, thank you, Paul. Sorry to hear about the tribulations here. And we know you're going to get back into the swing of things as soon as things will allow for it. And we need to talk a little bit more about Eco Challenge at some point. So thanks for reminding me on that too. And Rebecca. Rebecca was our vice chair from last year.
Yeah. Evening, everyone. Rebecca Kamberling, she, her. I am a civil rights plaintiff side attorney doing mostly employment work, but other civil rights work as well. Pro tem judge out in Washington County, and yeah, lots of legal stuff. I live over in, where do I live? Right by Monica Elementary School. So I'm over in this neighborhood. I've been in Beaverton since I moved back from New York in 2009. I was born and raised in New York though, but I came out here for college, so I'm a duck. Go Ducks. And I've been on this board for 2 years now, I think. And it's really fun, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. And I am a little sick, and so it's not COVID, not that you can catch it through the computer, but just so you know, not COVID. But that's part of why my camera goes off, is because I'm a little sick. So just FYI, it's not because I'm ignoring anybody. And then, yeah, so welcome everybody. So nice to see so many new faces. We're really excited about this year and what we're going to accomplish together. And you guys are bringing some really diverse new experiences to this board, which I'm really looking forward to learning more about. So, welcome, and thank you, Tyler and Chase, for everything you've done, and for, this new year, which is going to be great. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. I hope you're feeling better here really quickly. Got to start off the new year correctly, in the right foot. So thank you. Chase, I'm going to kick it over to you. And Jen, well, you don't know if you're going to be chair or not, but whoever's going to be chair, and you're going to be running this meeting towards the end. We've bounced our time a little bit. I told Rachel a little bit later, 7:35 is what I told her for her to come in, but we want to give Chase a chance to make sure we get through these, a chance to do these activities here. So if Rachel pops on, like right about now, she's going to have to hold on. Hi, Rach. Chase.
All right, Rachel, feel free to join us in these activities or take a breather, up to you. We'll go quickly through these, but these are some fun things that could just give a chance to know each other, maybe some topics to follow up later when we might actually be in the same room together or just in the chat. A couple of these games could tend to be more serious, but I want to keep it light and fun, so I've thrown out all those sort of questions. And these will be some things that I think you'll probably have some pretty easy opinions on, although watch out for any potential fights in the chat. What it's going to be is 2 activities. And the first one is called Step In, Step Out. Normally played in person, but we're going to do a version of this via Zoom. So what it is, you all have your cameras on. Great. You're already winning at the game. And this will be an opportunity when I say a statement to turn your camera on and see who else agrees with that statement as well. Again, if you're not comfortable with answering any of these, don't feel like you have to. We're going to go through a couple of them and they can be a chance to see what you have in common with the other folks here. So if you have a moment, go ahead and all turn your cameras off. We're going to start all off with the exception of me, just so that you can see my face. Take a moment to make funny faces, breathe, do whatever you need to do. And then when I say the statement, we're going to turn our cameras on for a moment and then go back to it. So I'm going to pop over here. I'm not going to share my screen so that you can all see each other's faces. And encourage you, this is a good one not to necessarily talk during. The next one, we're going to get a chance to kind of shout out and say things. Please turn your screen on if you are the oldest child. Okay, go ahead and turn them off. What about the youngest child? All right, that's an easy one. Y'all should know the answer to that. Got it figured out. Okay. If you agree with the statement, you love rainy weather. Ooh, this is a tough state and time for us all to be in, it looks like.
Yeah. I don't think we're telling the truth. I mean, we probably all love it, but we don't want to admit to it.
All right. You are left-handed. Do we have anyone in here who identifies as a baby boomer? Paige is right. A bunch of righties who love the sun. How about anyone who identifies as Gen X?
Wait, which years are Gen X? I think that's me.
I don't got it exactly, but if it's the one that you think is you, go for it. Millennial? And then any Gen Y or Gen Z? All right. You have lived a large portion of your life in a rural area. I'd be on this one as well with Tyler here. Jerome, hello. You have lived most of your life in a suburban area. And then, of course, you know the one that comes next. You would be the person who'd say that you've lived most of your life in an urban area. You're a city person. Okay. You know how to play a musical instrument. Vocal counts too. There will be no test on this, so don't worry.
You know how to play it well, or do you just know how to play it is the question?
Know how to play one.
That's a great question, Rebecca.
Does karaoke
I play
count?
very poorly, so yeah.
Karaoke does count if you consider yourself the top tier. No, just for fun. You don't enjoy icebreaker activities like this. There we go. You speak more than one language fluently. You are a veteran. All right. You prefer cats over dogs. Sometimes it's hard to pick. All right. You consider yourself extroverted.
Extra what?
Extroverted.
Oh.
Outgoing. You consider yourself introverted. Last but not least, you're looking forward to URAC in 2021? Oh my gosh. Did we really get everyone? All right,
I don't know.
I kind of strong-armed you with the last one. Nobody wanted to be the one person with the camera off.
They're probably wanting a nice dinner or something at the end.
Okay. Hey, thank you all for playing. Hopefully that's just a chance to learn a little bit more. Maybe you saw someone that you want to follow up with about what instrument they play or what song they would sing at karaoke, for example. The next one's called One's Gotta Go. So this is a chance for all of you to turn your cameras off, and you can leave them off this game. It's going to be kind of a boring recording for someone to watch later, but that's all right. Most of this is going to happen verbally. So if you are in a place that you feel comfortable doing so, go ahead and turn your mic, your mute off, or you can just be ready to hit that key to unmute to say what you would choose. If you don't want to say it out loud, you can type it in the chat. And Kelly, will you help me watch the chat on this one?
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't warn you about that beforehand.
Okay.
Feel free, like I said, to shout out. The game moves fast. It's simply, I'm going to show you a couple of different items, a couple of different choices, and you got to tell me which one's got to go. Which one, if you had to get rid of one for the rest of your life, or the one that's the worst option that you would get rid of. All right, sharing my screen here. See if I know how. First time I've ever done this.
I don't know about that.
Come on, Tyler, cover for me. Okay. Everybody see this here?
Yep.
All right. One's got to go. Which one?
Huskies.
Huskies.
Kelly, see any
Ducks.
ducks? Okay. Kelly, any of them you see in the chat?
Huskies. Huskies.
All right.
That's-
All right. That was a practice one. I'm a husky. I'm personally offended. I want you to know that. Vegetables, meat, cheese.
Cheese.
Vegetables.
Cheese.
Vegetables.
It's
Cheese.
one's got to go.
That's a hard
Vegetables.
Vegetables.
Get that cheese out of here.
one, Chase.
Cheese.
Thanksgiving, New Year's, Halloween.
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 New Year. Hello.
New
Halloween's the best holiday.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Email, texting, or calling.
Texting.
Email.
Text.
Email.
FaceTime.
Email.
I think we all feel a little biased right now coming back on a Monday too.
Yeah.
All right, salt, spicy, sweet.
Spice.
Salt.
Spicy.
Sweet. Salt.
Nice.
Salt.
Sweet.
Salt.
Salt.
None of the above.
Okay, keep them all. Friday, Monday, Saturday.
Monday.
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 Friday.
Monday.
Okay.
Not Monday.
Football, soccer, or football, baseball, basketball.
Ooh.
Basketball.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Soccer.
Baseball.
Soccer.
Soccer.
You people suck who said soccer.
Ooh.
Tennis shoes,
Sorry.
flip-flops, boots.
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 Flops. Ew.
Boots.
Oof.
We're getting down to the very deep issues now.
Yeah.
Cola, seltzer, or juice.
Cola.
Juice.
Cola.
Juice.
LaCroix.
Cola.
Specifically LaCroix, I heard someone say.
Who
Although
said
that
LaCroix?
hibiscus
Don't-
flavor is their worst flavor, so that one's got to go.
Good with rum.
Mustard, ketchup, ranch, barbecue sauce.
Ranch.
Mustard. Mustard.
BBQ.
Barbecue.
Mustard.
Ranch.
Actually, ranch.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Vacuuming, doing laundry, doing dishes. Sorry
Oh,
if this
dishes.
is triggering for you.
Doing
Dishes.
laundry.
Dishes.
Dishes out.
All of the above.
Hiking, camping, fishing.
Ooh.
Fishing.
Camping.
Fishing.
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 Right? This one I think is the toughest in my opinion. Paperclip, tape, stapler. You could never use it again.
Stapler.
Paper.
Stapler.
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 Tape.
Tape.
Yeah, stapler.
Tape.
No, you need tape. You always need tape.
Paper clip.
Gotta have paper clips.
All right. Car, bike, plane.
Car.
Bike.
Like.
Bike.
Car.
Car.
Bike.
No, I don't know.
Plane. Bye.
Kate.
All right. That is it for now. Just a fun one to breeze through. Anyone want to share one that they thought was particularly surprising or they surprised themselves?
Well, we all said Monday's got to go, and here we are on a Monday. So
Someone
I
said
don't know what
Friday. I
that
was
says.
kind of horrified by that.
I said Friday, and it's because I like to be contrary.
A lot of anti-vegetable people in this audience.
Yeah, did hear that.
Yeah. All
I
right.
think that was the toughest one for me.
I'll need to share with you Josh's philosophy on Monday. Josh, Monday.
Hey.
Okay, I know we got a full agenda after this, but thank you all for sharing those very personal details with all of us. Hopefully we didn't cause any rifts or fissures, but I think we're going to pass off to the elections now, right, Tyler? Oh, looks like he's frozen. Jennifer, I believe we're moving on to elections.
I'm back.
There we go.
Yep. Thank you, Chase. That was fun. Nice job. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm going to pause to see.
We can hear you.
Okay. Everybody's frozen on my screen, so I'm going to keep trying. So here we are at elections, and got to know each other a little bit tonight, and you may have known each other a little bit before. And so again, we have chair and vice chair. And so I'm seeking nominations at this point for the URAC chair for 2021 year. And you can nominate yourself as well or someone else.
I'd like to nominate Rebecca for chair.
I hear a Rebecca for chair from Miss Nye.
I'd second that.
Alan seconds that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Was that a positive from Rebecca?
Yeah, sorry, I'm feeding the cats. Yeah.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I'm kind of in and out here. Any others who would like to go for chair? Pretty simple duties we have here at URAC. Although Rebecca and whoever else may go for this chair position, one thing that we would like to do, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning, is trying to get back into meeting a little bit more often to set agendas and be thinking about the things that are coming forward. And so that's something that hopefully we'll be able to do more and more than we've done in this past year. Anyone else?
I'm wondering if I could nominate maybe Alan. He's been on the URAC for several years, and I'm not sure if you'd be interested, but any thoughts?
I'll go vice chair.
That sounds like a solid no, but yes. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Josh. And before I close it out for chair, any other nominations for chair? Hearing none, all in favor of Rebecca being the chair for URAC of 2021, please say aye.
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 Those opposed to Rebecca being chair for 2021, nay. I don't hear any nays, Rebecca. I think you're a done deal. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then we do have one nomination so far for Alan Kennedy as our vice chair. Any other nominations for vice chair? I know you all would be awesome at vice chair too. Any other opportunities for vice chair? Going once, twice? All in favor of Mr. Kennedy being vice chair for URAC 2021, say aye.
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 And those opposed? Hearing none, I think we are set. Rebecca Kamberling as our chair, and Alan Kennedy vice chair for 2021. Thank you all. Thank you for thinking about it. And you're all welcome to be a major participant in everything that we do. Anyway, Rachel, I'm going to go ahead and skip over Rebecca and just give it the reins to you as the next person on the agenda. And most of you have met Rachel either through URAC or DAB or know her through work as Josh, and maybe Jerome might be the only person who has not had interaction with Rachel here in the last couple of years. So Rachel, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Well, hello, Jerome. Nice to meet you. My name is Rachel. I work in economic development for the city of Beaverton. And Josh, it's great to see you. I didn't realize you were on URAC. It's been a while. I am here with a quick update for you guys. I don't want to take too much of your time. I see I have 30 minutes on the agenda, and I promise I will not use all of it. So we will get out of here on time. Let's see. I am going to pull up my presentation, which of course is minimized itself just now. 1 second. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So, all right, so this is, I believe this is our third time coming to URAC to give you guys a quick update of where we're at with this project. So for those of you who are new, I'm gonna just give a quick overview. Essentially so the city and Bureau are engaged in a brand new project. We're really just at the ground floor of this and very much interested in your feedback. And we have already incorporated some of your great feedback so far in how the project is kind of shaping out. But essentially we're recognizing that Bureau in particular is about to spend millions of dollars on investments in redevelopment and infrastructure and other investments in the downtown area. And we really need a framework to shape those investments to ensure that that they're doing the most good and causing the least amount of harm in our community. So with this project, we are hoping to develop strategies that will help guide this investment to make our downtown a more inclusive place and to minimize displacement and really prevent it as much as possible. So we are going to be specifically seeking out the perspectives of our BIPOC community members, Black, Indigenous, and people of color community members, as well as those most likely to be impacted by these investments, low-income folks, seniors, youth. We really want to ensure that we're bringing people to the table and involving our community members to ensure that downtown is for everyone. So this is an implementation or a really action-oriented strategy, we're going to be using a racial equity lens with this work and looking to infuse that with more of our projects moving forward in the downtown area. So this is our boundary for the project, and big thanks to your group who provided some really good input on our project area. This is the shaded area is the urban renewal district, but because of the anticipated impacts that redevelopment and investment can likely have on areas of affordable housing that currently exists outside of this area, we decided to draw the boundary a little bit wider to encompass the Allen Boulevard district, as well as this area here that contains existing affordable housing. So kind of where we're at at this stage is that we're in the process of still conducting some initial community engagement. So we have a survey up. If you haven't taken it yet, or you haven't passed it along to all of your colleagues and fellow downtown users, we'd really encourage you to do that. It can be accessed at beavertonoregon.gov/downtown equity. We've mailed out a postcard to every single address within that project area, directing them to the website and giving a quick update on the project. And we've done meetings like these with our existing community advisory groups. So we kind of consider URAC, HTAG, the Housing Technical Advisory Group, and the Diversity Advisory Board to be really key in helping us shape this project as we move forward. So I'll be back at more meetings and would really love your input. And then we're also seeking out meetings with community organizations that are either already located in downtown Beaverton or the larger project area, or those organizations that work with communities of color and other marginalized communities within Beaverton or Washington County. So, we're learning, just asking some basic questions, kind of introducing them to the project, and just really trying to shape it before we bring a consultant on board. And so what we're trying to do with this project overall, the scope of work for a consultant group is really helping us with some of the planning, a big heavy lift on community engagement. We really want to get that piece right. And then to develop strategies in these 3 key areas. So we're going to be looking at strategies that help us prevent and minimize displacement, creation of an inclusive downtown. And then this 3rd one is kind of an internal bullet point. How do we use, as the city and Bureau, how do we institutionalize the use of racial equity tools in our decision-making and community engagement? I think there's some projects and some staff that are starting to do this, which is great, but we need some practices that help us develop those tools and use them on any kind of redevelopment project that touches downtown. And who knows, this hopefully could go citywide after this particular effort is over. And then training for staff and decision makers. So this is really important work. We want to make sure that we're got eyes wide open and going into this. So we are at this point open for consultants. We released an RFP, unfortunately, right before Christmas. So the timing was a little bit challenging. So we'd love your help getting the word out. If you know any consultant groups or community organizations, we are fully expecting that. I'm going to actually just go back really quick to the previous slide. This is a lot of skill sets, if you will. Somebody who can help us, work with community members, design a really strong community engagement plan, and help us implement that. And then develop these strategies as well as do training. We don't expect that any one person or organization has the capacity or expertise to do all of those things. So we're completely open to groups that may want to team up. So if you know of community organizations or consultants that might be interested in all or part of this work, we're having a pre-proposal meeting this Wednesday afternoon to talk more about the project, and then the proposals are due on February 1st. So there is about a month to get those in, and then we'll be conducting interviews in late February and hope to have Bureau and City Council issue an award mid-March. So I think that date is still a little bit in flux, but that's kind of what we're planning on for now. And so we're really hoping that URAC can help spread the word about this effort. We have the website set up, which we've updated with a link to the request for proposals. And so if you do know of anybody, we'd really appreciate your help. And then I do have a request. What we usually at the city when we have requests for proposals is we form a proposal review committee that usually consists of staff and maybe some outside folks. But we really like to involve some community members with this review committee. And so we've talked to Tyler and Chase about having a representative from URAC join our proposal review committee, which I think we're going to have about 7 people. So it'll be a small group that reviews all the proposals, scores them, and then participates in a meeting with the top candidates. And so I am curious if there is anybody here that would be interested in doing that. We would want somebody who could be available during this time frame. So the review process would be early February, and then there would be meetings in late February. Probably just one meeting with the committee, and then interviews with the top candidates. So anyway, if anybody is interested, please nominate yourself and send an email to Tyler. Is that okay, Tyler? Can I do that? Okay, great.
Yeah, please. That'd be great.
And we really want to, staff we have great perspectives, we think, but we're obviously kind of one piece of the pie here, and we want to really ensure that we have some good community involvement, since this project is all about you know, figuring out how best to involve community members. And we think it's really important that we have some non-staff representatives that are reviewing these proposals from consultants. So I presented on some of this stuff before, but just wanted to give you all an update of kind of where we're at with the project. And I'm happy to take any questions.
I know I've got a question real quick, Rach,
Yeah.
and that may spur some other folks' questions. With a lot of our the city RFPs that we do, we have like a maximum number of pages just to kind of keep those proposals manageable if we have
Totally.
a lot, right? Do you know, or did you place a kind of a maximum page limit on proposals?
We did. I think it was 1,000 pages. I'm just kidding.
Okay, good.
I think
So
no, 40. I think it was 40 pages. I'll double check that. I don't remember off the top of my head. There were a lot of details in that. But I think, yeah, I'll let you know. I'm happy to just take a look now and then I'll throw it into the chat. But yeah, hopefully this will be a manageable set of documents to review. And it's a little tough. We don't have any idea how many groups will end up proposing. So it's hard to estimate the exact time commitment, but if anyone's interested, we'd love to have a representative from your group. So
any other
questions?
Great.
So you mentioned in the presentation about institutionalizing racial equity, and I understand that the city conducted some research and they hired Lillian Tsai, whom I know she's terrific, and she made some recommendations. Isn't her company or through her somebody that you could actually work to help just do that for this specific project?
Yeah, I think there's a ton of great consultants out there. I hope that her group ends up submitting a proposal. I know that scope of work was more focused on human resources and staff hiring and things like that. And this particular scope of work is different, but certainly is overlap. And I think somebody who already has the lay of the land, I think that could be potentially really beneficial. I think one thing too with the community engagement side, we really would love to work with a organization or a firm that has experience doing community engagement with communities of color in Washington County and has relationships and can recommend a strong approach here. So absolutely. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Rachel, I had one question. I noticed in the first slide, the concept statement or whatever the statement was, it mentioned, I forget how it's put, but it mentioned being successful, that it's open or feels like it belongs to all Beaverton residents. And I just have a observation about using Beaverton residents in that. I think to make downtown successful, it should be regionally go-to place, not just for Beaverton residents. And especially now with the mass transit that's already downtown, and now getting the Patricia Risa Center for the Arts. I mean, it's going to be a regional player, and that's what's really going to step it up a notch, not just within Beaverton, but for the whole metropolitan area and beyond. So that was just a brief observation I noticed that was really aimed at Beaverton residents. And even though the residents get the biggest say on what it looks like down there, it really has to attract other residents of other parts of the region.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, any other questions for Rach?
One question. So this is going to be focused on downtown, a little bit larger than the urban renewal boundaries. Are there any plans or thoughts to maybe, if it goes well, to expand it to more of the city?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I think that we're going to learn. So we'll be developing specific tools and strategies around preventing displacement and proactively bringing amenities that diverse community members want to see in this area, as well as changing some of our internal practices to have to really build in a racial equity analysis to our decision making and our community engagement. And I think this is where we start in this specific area, but absolutely, I really hope that we'll, we have to start small and try things and probably fail and learn from them and keep going and do it again. And then I think that it logically makes sense to expand that to our processes citywide. I mean, I would love it to expand to our processes citywide. I think this is where we're starting for now, and and I think we'll learn a lot. I feel like I really have already, and so I think I'm hopeful that maybe a phase 2 or a future project would be a larger scope area. Yeah. Well, thank you all. I will throw my email into the chat, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any specific questions. And then Tyler, I will go back and just double check that page count. I think it's 40, but I don't want to lie.
Yeah, I understood. No, it's thank you, Rachel. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for the work that you're doing. This is a huge project. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when Rachel gets off, as kind of what's happening for us this coming year. But please, if you're just have more questions, or if you're definitely interested, email me so I can just make sure that I can pass that along, and we can figure out, we don't want to, and we can't really have 7 URAC members being on that.
Well, Tyler froze, so that's fun. Because he's
Committee,
presenting next.
But
oh, there he is.
Your interest email. Yeah, exactly. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, my apologies. Anyway, send me your emails. You're all frozen. I'm not. Hopefully you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Rachel, thank you so much. All right. Still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just get into it, and Chase or Kelly, you can message me if it's a problem, and I'll pause. So Rachel's presentation is, as we get into the URAC overview for the year, the downtown equity strategy is one of our top priorities of work this year. And you've been able to hear 3 different presentations, and it's significantly has started now with the release of the RFP. We are expecting URAC to be hearing updates. There's going to probably be various committees that will be established, and so there may be some other opportunities for your involvement in those committees, or open houses, or surveys, or however the consultant determines the best way of providing the proper community engagement as we progress. All 13 of you have been hand selected because of your expertise, your involvement, your kind of your process of how you're wanting to help the community in various ways. And this is going to be a significant piece. And as Josh asked, what about the rest of the community? What about, and as Alan referenced, what about the region? We hope that this is kind of that moment of putting the flag in the ground and being able to establish something that is pretty special, and that it's out there. There isn't another group or organization that we're aware of that has done this kind of work. And so we expect it to be something that others are going to be looking at us, and hopefully we learn from our mistakes and keep on progressing, and others can learn and do a better job, and we can then keep moving along. So we appreciate it, and you're going to hear a lot about it this year, and not just in this group, but please find those moments, and we'll give you those opportunities to stay engaged. So as always, Rachel is open for questions, and you can always connect in through Kelly, Chase, or myself to get to the right place if you have some questions too. And Rachel says 40-page limit, if you notice in the chat there. And the reason I asked that, I do review quite a few RFPs, and if we get 7 RFPs and there isn't a page limit, it can get pretty daunting if you don't have that time commitment to be on that committee. So the 40 pages is pretty appropriate. Usually that includes, their biographies and projects that are similar, and then the crux of the actual question and answer pieces. So any questions on that piece before I continue on? Okay, the garage, the district-wide garage is almost complete. We still got a couple months here. We won't open it up for a little bit after that. The condo association that will be using it, and Jennifer's a part of that team. I'm going to call you a team because you have a committee that's involved on kind of a transition for them. And then also we're getting the technology in there. Things are looking great. So we're going to, one of the things that we've tried to start doing a couple of years ago, and we failed this year, was the fact that we want this group to be able to get out and do visits of projects. And as COVID allows, we're going to, again, try to get out and see projects. The garage and the art center will be a couple of those projects. The Mary Ann, which is an affordable housing project over by Beaverton High School. Noticed today being down there that they've got 3rd floor framing going on. And so the sky line is getting even, changing even more since last time I was downtown. There's a lot of different things that are happening, including that particular project that we want to get into. I'm hoping the Verso, which was not an urban renewal project, but the Rembolds have done that and it's almost completed at 2nd and Lombard. I wanted to get you into that space. I want you to feel that space. And so hopefully we can do that before they start moving everybody in. But I think that they're pretty close of completing that project. And so, having these moments of getting an understanding of the difference between a market rate unit and an affordable unit, and what the work that our affordable housing developers are doing in order to ensure that we can provide adequate housing across all levels. It's important for you as a member of this team to get in there and see it. And I think with Scott and Jen, as planning commissioners as well, it's a good way of experiencing what's going on, once projects are completed that you've reviewed. Alan and his work with TVF&R, they do have these opportunities, and they recognize it. And Alan is great because he comes to all those ribbon cutting ceremonies and walks through. And so, I want you to all to be able to experience that. And so hopefully we'll be able to get you into these projects. The Loop, which is the work on Hall Watson, which we've had a presentation on. They're doing their kickoff with the consultants here. We had some meetings last week, or excuse me, the week before leading up to the holidays. We were supposed to do a walkabout. COVID said, no, you can't have 12 people walking around downtown together. So we did a digital walkabout, which was pretty interesting. And any of you who are doing these kinds of engagement pieces with folks, and the poo-poo of Zoom meetings that we're all kind of getting tired of, actually it worked out really well. And we had 12, 15 people on the call. But we weren't just scattered along the sidewalk, for 25, 50 feet, people having their own separate conversations. We're all able to listen in to each person and what their thoughts were about certain blocks. And we just took it block by block and giving kind of that lay down of, those who kind of experience that day to day to the consultants who are looking to change what that loop is. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see, how that evolves, and using this technology that we have in place, which was pretty positive. And I was shocked So they've got a various committees that they've got going. They're kicking off here. We expect them to be back and forth with us, and they know that they want to be in here talking to you. The sub-basin strategy, that's the stormwater requirements that Clean Water Services is now regulating. And we recognize that if we want the Urban Renewal District to be continuing to be in the positive change, we're going to have to interact and figure out ways of making these requirements different. There's going to be different advisory committees, and we're going to be having people coming in and talking to you and wanting your input. We're hoping from the information from our last URAC group of 2020 that you get things ahead of time, so you're able to analyze it and evaluate and give you an opportunity to be prepared to talk about, where should we be putting in stormwater facilities in order to help mitigate these requirements. So these are some of our big projects. I don't want to go into all the different programs without just a touch of the storefront tenant improvement and the pre-development grant program. Storefront and tenant improvement, we have a new staff member, Megan Bronston, who is overseeing that program for years and started it. And she is now starting to work on major projects as well. We have a new person who's taken her place. Her first day was today, and that's why I was in the office, was to welcome Katie to the team. And she has a lot of great experience of working with small businesses, with permits, with planning commission, with historic preservation is her bucket that she's really interested in. So historic preservation, planning department is going to be working on inventorying our historic buildings and kind of evaluating mid-century buildings that are in downtown. So she's going to be involved with that, and I expect that to be coming to you as well. Your roles and responsibilities as a member is to be engaged. And we're not a decision-making group, but we're an advisory. And even though we may not have direct information that goes to a Bureau board decision, it usually gets funneled through staff. And that staff work that happens, and it gets put in front of the Bureau board or sometimes city council. Everything that we discuss and brought to you, and to your questions and your participation is really instrumental of helping guide policy that ultimately and project decision making as it gets into the Bureau board realm. So want to thank you for what you do, and I just keep plugging that carrot that the fact is that everything that you are involved with helps guide what we're doing. So I'm going to leave it at that. Any questions kind of on roles, responsibilities, and what's to look forward to here this coming year? Parking is another one. Sorry, I didn't mean to overlook that, but that is also another big thing that hopefully COVID will allow us to start moving forward with parking management strategies that you'll also be a part of. Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Chase, I'm going to turn it over to you.
So if you want to keep track of a lot of those projects, one of the best ways to do that is to get a hold of the Bureau Area Project Update List. Should be in the meeting materials for you. Goal is to get it out each month in the packet. You can find a lot of things there. It's sort of organized by the city department that's doing it, but if you think towards the top is mostly our Bureau projects, and once you get towards the bottom, you start getting into engineering and other city projects down there. If you have any questions about that document, we get updates each month from most of the project leads. Email me, email Tyler. We're happy to explain more or talk more or see if there's interest for a presentation about those items. In addition to that, I thought I could, I was going to cover a few of those projects, but Tyler got most of them, I think. So what I thought I would do is come on here and show you guys the quite nearly finished new annual report and 5-year action plan for Bureau. So I say quite nearly finished. There's one link that's broken that still needs to work. but you actually do have a copy of this. It's in the new members packet link that I sent out in that email last week to you. Let me share my screen here. Oh, make sure we got everybody. So let's walk through. Oh, thank you, Josh, for the compliment. All right, so here we go. While I'm doing this too, one other thing to show you. Here's the Beaverton Urban Redevelopment Agency website. I think most of you have probably been here. Another way to track projects, and an item that I'm working on updating, is you scroll down here, get to this projects page, and there is this great map that our team in Geographic Information Services helped us put together, which tracks a lot of the projects. It's a little outdated. We're getting a whole bunch more up here, but you can see the projects, you can see what type of organization it is, if it's public, if it's a private development. You can see kind of the spread. This will continue to be probably a really good resource also if you're trying to explain Bureau to other people who are like, what are you going to monthly on a Monday? Why are you spending time? Well, here, let's see a little bit of everything we got going on. And I'm going to cover a few of these in the document as well. Here. All right. So, pulling this up here. All right, the new 5-year action plan and annual report. So like we mentioned last year, we used to have 2 documents and we've combined them into one. We wanted to show a little bit more of the action of what's happening, especially in Beaverton Central. So started with the cover here of everything that's happening. You can see the Hyatt House Hotel, the PRCA here, the Patricia Research Center for the Arts, the garage, Beaverton City Hall, and the light rail stop. And this is, of course, immediately outdated because there's so much going on that now I think, Tyler, is the garage topped out now?
So what's going on with the garage is topped out, and it has the solar arrays that are being installed on top of the top out.
And if you get a chance to drive by it, there's some fantastic art going on in this corner over here. Got an introductory page here, a little bit from the mayor. One of the things you all really wanted to encourage me to do is include more photos, less text. Especially you helped me with this page here. We had a lot of things going on at first, explaining the background and the history and, you know, kind of detailed descriptions of what's going on. And we've moved that more to the back so that you can get upfront quick information about urban renewal and about Bureau and what's going on in the area. So got a nice little new map here for those of you who like maps. A little history. Photo of a few people we know here. You guys get a shout out as URAC for the great work you do. Some explanation about the funding. This is one of the toughest things that I think we encountered when we're talking about urban renewal is how does it get paid? It's not a tax. And so there's more information here explaining the split that we have to allocate our funds at the end of the program need to be spent in these areas. And then the other thing I really wanted to do with the document was have a flow from the past to show where we're going. Everything we do really builds on each other. You know, Tyler was talking about the Versa project that is here and happening, private development. And I'd like to think that we really, through the investments of URA and through URAC's recommendations, have really tilled the soil to make those kind of developments more possible in the area. So here's some of the ones we've accomplished recently. The Rise Central, Bank of Beaverton building, neat project. Megan Brosnan talked to you about this last year. We're giving quick little highlights. So if you're just breezing through, you're able to learn a bit about that. Another look at the numbers. These are all since we started counting or since the establishment of Bureau. One of the interesting ones here that I really like is we have a large leverage ratio for our grants. So for every dollar we spend, and I'm being conservative in the number that I put in here, 3 times that was then leveraged with other grants or private funding, and 122 Bureau grants have been awarded since the beginning of this. A lot of housing units, and this is all within the urban renewal area here. An increase in food and drink establishments. We have some great construction photos of the Central District Garage and our current projects that are going on. Western Avenue, the Marianne, and this is one that we'll probably be hearing more about in the next year, the Beaverton Central 2-acre site. This is right next to BG's Food Cartel, Canyon Road, and this is a key redevelopment site for this area. Hyatt House Hotel. Talk a little bit about the grant programs, some of the successes we've really seen from this. And then we look to the future, what's going on in the next 5 years, what our priorities are, and then how we're proposing to spend our funds, whether it's in those incentive program areas, joint investment, transportation. You'll see some large buckets, especially around finishing the parking garage here and beyond. And so we're planning out, and you can get a look ahead here to think, where are we really going with putting our money where our mouth is on our projects. We added also an appendices and a glossary. Talked a lot about how tough it can be just picking up a document of an agency or a city, and it has all this terminology. So we wanted a place you could refer to get a definition again or refresh yourself of what do we mean when we say market rate housing or tax increment financing, and get a quick little blurb on that. And then finally, our metrics reporting, which you all helped me change and update this year. So we have some new metrics, some changed metrics, and a couple more metrics down here that I'm really excited about that we will be implementing and finding the best way to track and to set a baseline and to report back out how we're doing on, including BIPOC-owned businesses and some sort of multimodal traffic ratio, which lets us see how pedestrian traffic, bike traffic, and car traffic plus transit are all working together. Are we seeing increases in one, decreases in the other? Are they all going up? It'd be nice to know that, to know what's happening downtown and what's happening in the urban renewal area. Last but not least, we talked about links. So we wanted it to be easier to link to the website. So all of these links are clickable. So you can quickly go to other documents. It unfortunately doesn't work in the paper form. I've tried, but online, click all these and you can read more and learn more about our DEI plan or the downtown design project that's going on. So that's a quick brush. It is the same length as each of the individual documents were previously, smushed together. So I think we got a good number of pictures in here, but I always down for improvement in future years. And I would love to hear your thoughts as I stop sharing on that. Thank you for letting me run through that.
Yeah, Chase, I'll jump in.
So much better. Thank you.
Much better. Yeah. It's visually interesting. It's clearly laid out what each section means and what you're trying to communicate. You can skip stuff if you're not interested. Good job.
I really like it. First time, I looked at it, looking in the packet, and it just really makes the information accessible, which is great. And I love all the maps. There's great maps in there. All my map affinity is satisfied.
There's the right blend of having just enough data in there so then users can say, where's the money going, how's it spent, and then where do we think the money's going to go. But it also shows, through visual aids as well, what's been accomplished, right? It shows people, what exactly is being done. So it's a perfect blend and it flows very well. Well done, Chase.
And that organization really was hearing back from you all about not front loading it too much. So like I said, we brought it all to the back because of your comments when I first brought out our kind of draft layout that we were thinking.
Yeah, it looks really great. It looks really great, Chase. Quick question. Are you guys going to be sticking with these 7 or 8 metrics each year, or are there going to be different ones each year?
I can say a little bit about on that, and Tyler might be able to say more. This is what we're hoping to stick with for now. We're still tracking a lot of the metrics we've been tracking before, but we're still trying to refine down on that. what is an output versus what is something that we're seeing as an outcome, as you've talked about, actually, Josh, learned from you on that one. And we want to establish a good baseline for these so that we can be consistent for the years to go. One of the groups of metrics that isn't in here that we'll probably be considering in the future is parking. How do we track parking in the area, parking usage, especially as we are looking to have some sort of metered parking in the garage and maybe elsewhere. So that all is changing right now, especially with COVID-19. Finding baseline data this year would probably not be really, really informative, although I think it will be nice to see growing out from where we've been at and what changes happen. So that's one that we're actively talking about as we I'm going to use this phrase, come to the new normal. So apologies for that. Tyler?
Yeah, no, that's good, Chase. I think the biggest thing for Josh's sake is that we went back to the Bureau board and had multiple conversations with them of the things that they are interested in and those things that they realize, gosh, this doesn't do it. And then we brought up a couple new ones that were highlighted there, and which they're very excited about, and gives us kind of a different angle on what we were trying to track.
Great.
One more thing with that too is wanting to be consistent throughout the years, but also trying to get down to a little bit more granular data so that we can disaggregate the data out depending on what areas we're in and what is happening. So wanting to get down to, say, housing data where we could look at tax lot level and start spreading that out. So we're looking for that. We're working with other agencies to, as they're updating, Washington County and other folks, to get clearer data, getting data about race in the area, because unfortunately the urban renewal area does not follow the census areas, or the census tracts. So having to work with that a little bit to see what information we can get to then report back to you all.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah, thank you, Chase. Hold on.
I think it's my turn, right?
It's your turn. And as soon as you announce it, I'm going to interrupt. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, we have to approve the October and December 2020 minutes.
So I'm going to interrupt.
Okay.
So we're going to hold off on the October and December minutes to the February meeting. And hopefully you keep your thinking caps on for the October meeting, because you'll have 3 separate minutes to approve in February.
Well, okay then. So we're not going to approve. Okay. So then I guess
we didn't get them into the packet, so we're going to hold off.
Okay. So then I guess we move to adjourn.
Yeah, I just, before you do that, I want to thank everyone again, and Trace, great job on the annual report and action plan and putting it all together and listening to everybody's thoughts and comments, and having the patience to work with our design team too, and putting it all in, and all the small and big edits, and getting the right images and the latest just before publicizing it. So great job, and thank you to everybody who helped out, and Josh who helped put the first ones together. So thank you, everyone. And any questions before we adjourn? I want to give this an opportunity here. It's all yours, Rebecca.
Well, I don't see any questions. So would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move.
I
No,
motion to
everybody's
adjourn the
I
meeting.
second that motion.
Okay. I didn't hear who made the motion. Eric? Oh, no, Nathan. Okay. Seconded by Josh for the minutes. And all in favor of adjourning. Is that all right?
Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah.
You can really just adjourn the meeting.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Some are different, and Robert's rules, not Robert's rules. I don't know. So I'm going to adjourn the meeting then. So there. And also, if you haven't taken the 2020 URAC survey yet, please do it. For those of you who are on in 2020. But anyway, we will see you all in February, and thank you for attending tonight. And thanks, Tyler and Chase.
Bye, everyone.
Good,
everyone.
good seeing
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Take care.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year's.
Well, good seeing you. All righty.